Time now 8:46. Charlie O'Hara is in our studio to answer your questions. If you have a question, pick up the phone, call us right now at 436-1212. We'll work to get you in. In the meantime, we were just telling a story about Judge Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court, likely to hear his first case today. And we were talking a little bit about judges and opinions and everything. And he's going to bring something different to the court. But really, when we're selecting these, we are obviously biased when we're looking for somebody to sit
Well,
there.
yeah, I mean, it seems kind of odd. I mean, we would all think that the law would be one thing. I mean, regardless of who was there, they would interpret it the same. But we have these big hearings, and we argue about we want someone that interprets the law the way we want the law interpreted. So it's not just one thing. It's not one way to hear it. There's a lot of ways to interpret what you want, what the law is, and we have huge decisions at times, and we have dissents. I mean, some of our greatest and most followed laws are, believe it or not, 5 people say yes and 4 people say no. Sometimes the 5 get to the opinion with a different rationale.
Yeah.
And those are the laws we follow as a country. So it's just one person. It's really kind of an interesting system.
We may come back to that here in just a moment because I want to. We do have a caller on the line with a question. Go ahead. You're live with Charlie. What's your question?
I got a question about unemployment. I've got like $11,000 in my unemployment, and they said I'm $200 short of drawing my unemployment, and they keep doing this to me every time I draw unemployment. And I wonder where the money goes when I can't draw it anymore.
Well, I actually don't know what, that's not the kind of work we do necessarily, but that doesn't sound correct to me. There are attorneys that do unemployment. I think you ought to get a hold of one of those attorneys. I think people are always scared to get a hold of an attorney. They think they're going to charge a lot. Most attorneys have free consultation the first time. They'll talk to you and see if you actually have a lawsuit. I think you ought to get a hold of an unemployment attorney and see what's going on. That doesn't sound right, and a lot of people interpret these things and tell people things, and even the person telling you what unemployment you get isn't an attorney, and so sometimes there's a reason for an attorney and you need one. So I would advise you to get a hold of someone that practices in that area.
If they are making that phone call, would you advise, how do you know which one? I mean, obviously you can find an unemployment attorney, but how do you know if you're calling the right one that's going to give you good advice?
Well, that's kind of a problem. I mean, there's really no way to know. I mean, obviously the best thing, the old way was you always heard from other people whether somebody was good. The internet's real good to look people up, and I would recommend you do that and then talk to them and see if they appear to know what they're doing.
All right, as always. Charlie, thank you. We appreciate you coming in.